Power doesn't announce itself, it moves quietly, through psychology, perception, and human weakness. Every era has winners and losers, not because of strength, but because of understanding. The 48 Laws of Power, written by Robert Greene, are not rules of morality, they are rules of reality. They reveal how power is gained, how it's protected, and how it's lost. In this video, we're breaking down the first 10 laws. The foundation, the laws that decide whether you rise, survive, or get crushed without knowing why. These laws will teach you how to deal with authority, how to control perception, how to protect your position, and how to move in a world where intentions are rarely pure. This knowledge isn't about manipulation, it's about awareness. Because once you understand the game, you stop being a pawn. Watch closely, listen carefully, and remember, power favors those who see before they act. Let's begin. Law 1. Never outshine the master. The fastest way to destroy your future is to embarrass the person above you. Power doesn't forgive wounded egos. Law 1 is the foundation of all power dynamics. Robert Greene explains that people in authority are deeply sensitive to comparison. No matter how insecure they appear, they fear being replaced. When you outshine your superior, you don't look impressive, you look threatening. And threatened people don't reward talent, they eliminate it. True power is knowing when to dim your light, so it can shine longer. Leaders are human, they crave respect, they need to feel irreplaceable. When a subordinate appears smarter, stronger, or more capable, it triggers insecurity, not admiration. They may smile publicly, but plot privately. History is full of brilliant minds, destroyed not by enemies, but by jealous mentors. Talent without awareness is a liability. Law 1 doesn't say be weak. It says be smart, make your master feel superior, credit them for your success, ask for guidance even when you don't need it. This disarms suspicion. When people feel respected, they protect you. When they feel overshadowed, they attack you. Power grows best in shadows. In the workplace, let your boss shine. In mentorship, show gratitude, not dominance. In hierarchy, rise quietly, outperform expectations. But understate your brilliance. Let results speak through others. Timing matters. One day, you may become the master, but until then, survival comes first. Law 1 is about patience and discipline. Many rise fast, and fall faster. The wise move differently. Respect power above you. Grow quietly beneath it, because in the world of power, those who outshine too early burn out first. Law 2. Never put too much trust in friends. Learn how to use enemies. The people closest to you often know exactly where to hurt you, and that's why trust must be controlled. Law 2 delivers one of the most uncomfortable truths about power. Friendship and power don't always mix. Friends can become complacent. They feel entitled. They expect favors instead of earning positions. Robert Greene explains that friends are more likely to betray you, because they believe closeness gives them permission. Enemies, on the other hand, have something to prove. They're cautious, they're disciplined, and when converted, they often become more loyal than friends. Friends remember your past weaknesses. They know your mistakes, they know your insecurities. When power enters the picture, envy quietly follows. A friend may smile while secretly resenting your rise. They compare themselves to you. They feel left behind, and resentment is one of the strongest motivations for betrayal. That's why many leaders fell not by enemies, but by inner circles. An enemy who becomes an ally is different. They understand boundaries. They respect structure. They know what it means to lose. Because they once opposed you, they value the alliance more. They work harder. They stay alert. They don't take your trust for granted. In power dynamics, earned loyalty beats assumed loyalty. This law doesn't say have no friends. It says don't confuse friendship with strategy. In business, separate loyalty from competence. In leadership, reward results, not history. In life, keep emotional trust and strategic trust different. Respect your friends, love them, but don't hand them the keys to your future. Law 2 isn't cynical, it's protective. Blind trust invites betrayal. Balanced trust creates longevity. Choose allies carefully. Measure loyalty by actions, not memories, because in the world of power, the closest smile can hide the sharpest knife. Law 3. Conceal your intentions. The moment people know your plan, they start preparing against it. Power moves best in silence. Law 3 reveals one of the oldest truths in strategy. Transparency is weakness in competitive environments. When people understand your intentions, they adjust, resist, or sabotage. Robert Greene explains that concealment keeps others off balance. If they don't know where you're going, they can't block the path. The powerful never reveal the full map, they show just enough to mislead. Most people fail because they announce their goals too early. They talk about plans, they share visions, they seek validation, but the moment intentions are visible, competition appears, envy grows, opposition forms, support fades, enemies don't need to guess anymore. You've handed them the blueprint. Power prefers misdirection. Let others misunderstand you. People relax when they think they understand you. That's when they lower defenses. By presenting harmless motives, by distracting with small actions, you create blind spots. Meanwhile, real progress happens quietly. This is why magicians misdirect the eye, and strategists misdirect the mind. What's unseen is what succeeds. In business, move silently until results appear. In competition, reveal strength late. In personal growth, work privately. Not everyone needs access to your goals. Not everyone deserves the plan. Confusion around you is protection. Law 3 demands patience and discipline. Those who reveal everything, lose everything. Move quietly, advance strategically, let outcomes announce your arrival, because in the game of power, what they don't know, can't stop you. Law 4, always say less than necessary. The more you talk, the more you reveal. And in the game of power, information is never free. Law 4 teaches a simple but deadly truth: silence creates control. When you speak too much, you expose intentions, emotions, and weaknesses. Powerful people understand that words reduce mystery, and mystery creates authority. Those who talk less appear smarter, stronger, and harder to manipulate. Silence forces others to fill the gap, and in doing so, they reveal themselves. Most people talk to feel important, to be liked, to prove intelligence, but every extra word is a risk. Over-talking invites criticism, creates misunderstandings, gives opponents ammunition. The more you explain, the weaker your position becomes. Power doesn't rush to be understood, it allows others to adjust. Silence makes people uncomfortable, and discomfort forces mistakes. When you pause, others talk more. When you listen, others reveal more. This is why negotiators, leaders, and strategists use silence as a weapon. Not everything needs a response. Not every attack deserves an answer. Sometimes, silence is the loudest statement. In business, don't oversell. In conflict, don't overdefend. In leadership, speak with precision. Say what's necessary, nothing more. Let your actions complete your sentences. Let results replace explanations. Because the less you say, the more weight your words carry. Law 4 is discipline in its purest form. The weak speak to impress. The powerful speak to move reality. Control your words, master your silence. Because in the world of power, those who talk the least, control the most. Law 5, so much depends on reputation. Guard it with your life. Before people meet you, they meet your reputation, and once it's damaged, everything becomes harder. Law 5 is one of the most important laws of power. Robert Greene makes it clear: reputation is power in visible form. It shapes how people treat you, what they expect from you, and how much resistance you face. A strong reputation opens doors silently. A damaged one keeps you fighting battles you never started. Powerful people understand this early. They protect their name more fiercely than their money. Reputation takes years to build, and seconds to destroy. One rumor, one careless action, one moment of weakness, and people remember it longer than all your success. That's why enemies don't attack you directly, they attack your image. Once doubt enters the public mind, your power begins to leak away. You spend energy defending yourself, instead of advancing. People don't judge you by facts, they judge you by stories. And stories spread faster than truth. If you don't control the narrative, others will write it for you. Strong reputations create intimidation. People hesitate to challenge you. They think twice before crossing you. That hesitation is power. Be intentional with your actions. Be careful with your words. Be selective with your associations. Attack rumors early. Silence can sometimes look like guilt. At the same time, build a reputation around strength, fairness, or excellence, something clear and consistent. Confusion weakens image, clarity strengthens it. Law 5 leaves no room for carelessness. You can lose money and recover. You can lose status and rebuild. But lose your reputation, and every step forward becomes a struggle. Guard your name. Protect your image. Move like your legacy depends on it, because in the world of power, your Reputation enters the room before you do. Law 6. Court attention at all costs. In a world full of noise, the invisible don't have power. You can be talented, you can be intelligent, but if no one sees you, you don't exist. Law 6 delivers an uncomfortable truth. Attention is the currency of power. History doesn't remember the quiet geniuses in the corner, it remembers the figures who commanded the room. Robert Greene explains that power begins with visibility. Before people respect you, before they follow you, they must first notice you. Whether through brilliance, mystery, controversy, or style, attention opens the door. And once the door is open, influence walks in. Many people fear criticism, they fear being talked about, but Law 6 teaches this: it's better to be attacked than ignored. Hatred means relevance, silence means nothing. Those who play it safe disappear, those who stand out get remembered. Scandal, shock, confidence, originality. History shows us again and again that attention accelerates power faster than approval ever could. If people talk about you, you're already winning half the battle. Humans are drawn to contrast. Bright colors over dull ones, bold voices over quiet ones, certainty over hesitation. Attention works because the mind is lazy, it follows what stands out. Once you command attention, people assign you importance automatically. That's the illusion of power, and illusions shape reality. Visibility creates authority, before results even arrive. In business, build a strong personal brand. In content, be bold, not boring. In leadership, own the spotlight when it matters. This law doesn't mean chaos, it means intentional presence. Control how you're seen, shape the narrative before others do, turn eyes into influence, because if you don't define your image, the world will define it for you, badly. Law 6 is dangerous if abused, but fatal if ignored. Attention is a double-edged sword, but invisibility is a dead end. Be seen, be remembered. Be impossible to ignore, because in the game of power, those who command attention, command the future. Law 7. Get others work. Hard work doesn't always create power, ownership does. The world doesn't reward effort, it rewards results and recognition. Law 7 is one of the most misunderstood laws. It's not about laziness, it's about leverage. Robert Greene explains that powerful people don't waste energy doing everything themselves. They build systems, they use talent. They position themselves as the final authority. When you do everything alone, you stay busy. When you delegate wisely, you grow. Powerful effort is common, direction is rare. Many people believe this lie: if I don't do it myself, it won't be done right. That mindset traps you. It keeps you small. It keeps you exhausted, and it keeps you invisible. History shows us that kings, emperors, and empire builders rarely fought every battle themselves. They commanded, they coordinated, they claimed victory. Power flows to the one who controls the outcome, not the one who breaks their back. Recognition shapes perception. People don't remember who carried the bricks, they remember who designed the building. When others associate success with your name, your influence grows automatically. This law works because humans follow symbols of success. They follow leaders, not laborers. That's why Law 7 warns you: never disappear behind your own work. Visibility is power. In business, delegate execution, own the vision. In creative work, collaborate, but protect your brand. In leadership, empower others, but remain the face. This doesn't mean exploitation, it means structure. Reward people fairly, acknowledge effort privately, but own the outcome publicly. Because if you don't claim your victories, someone else will. Law 7 teaches a harsh truth: if you do all the work, you'll never have time to rule. Build teams, build systems, build influence, let others help you climb, but make sure the world knows whose mountain it is, because in the game of power, the credit writes history. Law 8. Make other people come to you. Use bait if necessary. The moment you chase, you give up control. Power belongs to the one who waits and forces others to move. Law 8 is about positioning, not patience. When you run after people, you reveal need. Need weakens leverage. Robert Greene teaches that the person who controls movement, controls the game. If others must come to you, on your terms, in your space, you hold the advantage. Powerful figures don't beg, chase, or explain. They create value so strong that others have no choice but to approach. Chasing sends a silent message: I need this more than you do. And once that message is sent, negotiations are already lost. The chaser compromises, the chaser rushes, the chaser accepts less. History proves this in war, politics, and business. Leaders who leave their strong positions to pursue often fall into traps. That's why Law 8 says, hold your ground and let desire pull others in. Bait works because humans are driven by curiosity and ego. People want what feels scarce. They chase what seems just out of reach. By revealing only part of your plan, by showing value without desperation, you create tension, and tension forces movement. Silence becomes a magnet, distance becomes influence. The less you explain, the more others imagine. In business, build value, not neediness. Let opportunities come to you. In relationships, don't over-pursue, let interest rise naturally. In power dynamics, stay centered, force others to adjust, create an environment where people gain more by approaching you than by ignoring you. That's leverage. Law 8 isn't about arrogance, it's about control. Those who chase are controlled, those who wait, command. Stand firm, create value, let the world make the first move, because real power never runs. Law 9, win through actions, never through arguments. Argue long enough, and you reveal your weakness. The moment you try to convince someone with words, you've already lost leverage. Law 9 exists to protect your power. Robert Greene exposes a simple truth: people rarely change their minds through logic. Arguments don't create agreement, they create resistance. When you argue, you attack someone's ego. And ego never surrenders peacefully. You can prove someone wrong, and still make them your enemy. That's why Law 9 says, demonstrate, don't debate, let results speak, let success make the noise, let outcomes end the discussion. Arguments do three dangerous things. First, they expose your intentions. Second, they reveal emotional investment. Third, they give your opponent time to defend. The louder you explain, the weaker you appear. Powerful people understand this. The one who explains is not in control. They move quietly. They let actions force acceptance. History shows us this again and again. Revolutions weren't won by speeches alone, they were won by results. Humans believe what they see, not what they're told. You can argue that you're capable, or you can show success. You can argue that you're valuable, or you can become rare. You can argue that you're right, or you can win. Action bypasses resistance. It enters the mind without permission. That's real influence. In business, don't argue your worth, deliver results. In relationships, don't argue respect, set standards and enforce them. In competition, don't explain your vision, execute it. Silence plus results creates authority. When people doubt you, don't react, perform. When people challenge you, don't defend, advance. Law 9 is ruthless but necessary. Arguments create enemies, actions create obedience. Talk less. Move smarter, let victory do the talking, because in the end, power doesn't argue, it proves. Law 10, avoid the unhappy and unlucky. Some people don't need bad luck follows them. They walk into a room, and the energy drops. They enter an opportunity, and it collapses. They touch success and somehow turn it into failure. Law 10 exists for one reason: to protect your future. Robert Greene warns us of a dangerous illusion, that misery is just temporary, but the truth is darker. Unhappy and unlucky people don't just experience failure, they live in it, they expect it, they attract it, and over time, they infect others with it. Human emotions are contagious. Fear spreads, hopelessness spreads, defeat spreads. Stay close long enough, and you'll start thinking like them, talking like them, making excuses like them. That's how potential dies, quietly. This law makes many people uncomfortable because it sounds cold. But what about helping people? But what about loyalty? But what if it's not their fault? Here's the hard truth: sympathy without boundaries is self-destruction. Some people don't want solutions, they want company in their suffering. They reject advice, they ignore opportunities, they blame everyone except themselves, and when things go wrong, they won't take responsibility, they'll take you down with them. Law 10 is not about abandoning people, it's about recognizing patterns. If someone is drowning and refuses to swim, you don't jump in, you throw a rope. History is filled with examples of rising figures destroyed by bad associations. Kings lost thrones, generals lost wars, entrepreneurs lost empires, not because they were weak, but because they trusted the wrong energy. Powerful people are careful about proximity. They understand this rule: who you stand next to affects how the world sees you. Unlucky people attract chaos, authorities watch them. Problems follow them, drama surrounds them, and guilt by association is real. This law matters now more than ever. Look at your circle. Who complains the most? Who always has bad news? Who never wins, never learns, never grows? Now ask yourself this question: are they changing, or repeating? Support ambition, encourage effort, help those who take responsibility, but protect your distance from people who constantly blame others, reject accountability, celebrate failure, fear progress. Your environment shapes your destiny. Law 10 is simple but unforgiving. You don't rise alone. And you don't fall alone either. Choose wisely who walks beside you, because in the long run, luck is shared, failure is shared, and power is never accidental. Power is not about being loud. It's not about force, ego, or domination. Power is about understanding human nature and moving wisely within it. The 48 laws of power don't make you good or bad, they make you aware, and awareness is what separates the controlled from the controllers. Use these laws to protect yourself, to read the room before you speak, to move smarter, not harder, and to build influence without destroying your character. Remember, the most powerful people don't chase attention follows them. If this video sharpened your mindset, like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because knowledge is power, and power belongs to those who prepare. Stay sharp, stay dangerous, but disciplined.